Alright guys, today's video we're gonna talk about acid rain is the main subject, but mostly the chemical makeup of it and what exactly it does to our environment. But throughout this presentation we'll go a little bit into depth with the chemical makeup again, and also how it's affecting our environment, maybe even close to your home. I know it is my home up in the Appalachian Mountains, and I'll discuss that later. But basically, we're just gonna go maybe more into depth into acid rain than you may have already learned, and some you probably have not, unless you've taken certain classes. All right, guys, let's get started. But acid rain is any form of precipitation that is unusually acidic. Now, when I say any form of precipitation, like rain, sleet, snow, that can also include like fog or as well as smog as well. But you get the idea. But being acidic means it possesses elevated hydrogen ions, aka pH. This is formed when gases react with the air, gases like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides. They react with oxygen as well as water and form mild solutions of sulfuric acid and nitric acid, but there's also nitrous acid that could also be created. And on the next slide, you'll see how it's created. Now, on this slide, you see a visual representation of some of the equations that are going on that create the acid rain. Now, some of you may not know how to do or what chemical equations are, but I wanted to get to some that do know what the chemical equations are and basically know how they work. So in the first equation, you see the nitrogen oxide reacting with water to form the nitric and then the nitrous acid. Now the second equation, you see that the sulfur dioxide is reacting with water. Water is a big thing, of course, because, acid rain, rain is water, huh? But that forms the sulfuric acid. Now these are not the only gases that create acid rain, but they're the main ones. They're the most common ones, and they cause the most problems. So basically, I just wanted to give you that representation of it, and now we can move on to the next slide. Main cause, humans. And now, I touched on it earlier, but I didn't really give much emphasis on what causes more out of which. But by far, the most cause is us humans. Like I said earlier, with the oil, gas, power plants, all that smoke you see coming out of the power plants contains tons of those gases that cause acid rain. But with the oil, believe it or not, oil is actually the most problematic cause. It causes more and more acid rain than even the power plants that release that much smoke as you see. But and oil, in 2004, the World Watch Institute found that humans use 82.6 million barrels of oil a day. We burn that much a day. That's in a nutshell is why acid rain is such a problem. And it's not helping that we use those power plants and all those other plants that release that much smoke in the air that contains all those gases. We use so much unnecessary things, and it damages our environment so much. We don't even know. We don't even care. But yeah, we are the main cause, and we are the main cause why the environment is disintegrating into less beautiful things. I mean, think about how beautiful nature is, like in the mountains or your favorite camping spot. We are progressively destroying it by unnecessary items that we use every day. So, and then the next slide, there's a pictorial example that gives prime visual representation of how um, uh, the plants emit the gases and form acid rain. Now, here's the pictorial example. From this example, you see the power plant right here emitting these gases that basically cause everything. And the sun is giving that it's oxygen that it reacts with. And the condensation up in the air also gives it the water as well to complete the reaction and form the acids. But I just wanted to give you a slight visual aid of how what's going on and how that is actually happening, because me just talking about it doesn't really do any justice to it. You may not fully understand it, but given a visual, it may seem a little bit more understanding. So we're just gonna head on to the next slide after this, and that slide is gonna start talking about how it's affecting us closer to home. Now, like I said earlier, I live in the northern region of Georgia, and they're famous for Appalachian Mountains, part of the Appalachian Mountains that are there. And famously, the Appalachian Mountains, a lot of them are starting to have bald peaks, and that's becoming an increasingly big problem that people are noticing, because acid rain is basically the cause of all that. A little bit later, I'm going to give you visuals of the bald peaks and the effects of acid rain on the Appalachian Mountains specifically. And it's really surprising. They look beautiful from afar. You can't really notice. But up close and personal, you can really tell, and it's really doesn't look good. And the prognosis can't be good as well. But we're just going to move on to the pictorial examples. Now, I'll give you the website, and where applicable, I will also to give you the photographer of those pictures. So let's get into those websites right now. Alright guys, I'm on this little article thing from the Environment News Service, and it's talking about really what we were discussing, acid rain, how it's caused, and what it's doing to the environment. As you can see right here, it gives you prime example of like maybe a power plant you see around your town. But now look down below. It's cited right here acid rain has damaged trees in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park in North Carolina. Now, this isn't North Georgia mountains, but Great Smoky Mountains are part of the um, Appalachian Mountains. And as you can see, that these trees have been damaged. I mean, it's obvious. Look, no leaves. As you can, not as much leaves as the other trees, which seem to be full leaf. These have none at all, and they just look dull and non-colorful. They look like they're dying. So maybe you can hopefully tell the damage that acid rain caused, and maybe take a look at this little article yourself. I mean, it's not long. It's from there to there. I'll post a link under the video as well. Alright guys, now I'm on the Getty Images website, which is really good website if you're looking for specific types of photos. Maybe you really like photos, you want to become a photographer yourself, but this is a really good website for that. And I found some really good examples of the effects of acid rain, and even in the Appalachian Mountains. Here is giving you examples of Clingman's Dome in Tennessee, a part of the Appalachian Mountains. Now, Rob and Ann Simpson took this photo, and it's a really good photo. You see some trees have some leaves, others don't have much, and some, like over here, don't have any at all. I mean, you can see how it's progressively damaging the environment, and not just, okay, this is damaged, this isn't. This shows that it's progressively damaging the environment if nothing is done. We're going to take a look. Now, here we have an example of an acid fog damaged environment. I touched on that earlier, I think. But as you can tell, this is higher up on the mountains, close to the peaks, and these trees are bare and they're dull. They're dead almost. It seems like they're dead. You can see on the floor some fell, but here you see an example of not really precipitation, but fog as well. Now this one was by Christopher Politz, and this is a example from Poland, and it's the worst I've seen. Like, I just came across this now, looking through this page at the same time as y'all. So this is the worst example that I've seen from the effects of acid rain. And it looks like Poland has having a big problem themselves on their mountains. 'Cause this forest just looks dead. It doesn't look like there's any life left in it. So yeah, I mean, we should do something on this acid rain problem. But in the meantime, I am gonna sign off. I hope you guys like this video, and you guys have a great day.